Hello folks, this is Sula once again. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. So this is taken from a double-up game that I'm playing together with Headwinder. And this is going to be the spatula game. As you can see here, we're going to start with an all spatula carousel. And that's going to end up dictating how this game plays because it's going to be a game that plays into an awful lot of spatula items. Not so much on my board, more so on Headwinder's board. But we'll get another look at that as the game goes on. All right, now when this game started, I was actually kind of hoping that this would end up being a Mage Namzi game because with the spatula opener, if I get a tier, then I'd be able to make a Mage Spat and I'd be able to play like 7 mages with Namzi, which is very, very strong if you're able to put it together. But that doesn't happen. Instead, look what I get. I get an Olaf from the very first orb. And I immediately think, okay, well, why don't I look to play Olaf this game? Now, one downside to that is Olaf doesn't really make particularly good use of spatulas. It's not an item that really, there's not really a lot of good spatula items you can make into the Olaf team composition. But I figure we can probably find some kind of use for this. Long term, it could be like a Cavalier spatula on like one of the frontline champions. Like you can turn Pantheon into a Cavalier, and you're going to be playing Lilia in the team composition, so you can get some value out of that, and then always a possibility to add some more Cavaliers later. But I have to figure out something to do with this spatula. What I really was hoping to do with the spatula was to be able to make 2 of them for a Tactician's Crown. Like that's what I most wanted to make here. I was also trying to see if I could farm any death stacks on Olaf against the initial minion rounds, but it's actually kind of tricky to do that because Olaf being a 3-cost unit, usually he's strong enough to just solo the minions anyway. So even if you don't end up playing other units, it's kind of hard to get a death stack on Olaf against the initial 3 minion rounds. I guess you can never get one against the first minion round because Olaf will never be on the initial carousel. There's only 1-cost champions on the initial carousel. I've also gone ahead and picked up a set here. And the reason for that is Headwinder was initially thinking he might play into Dragon Mancers, although he would end up not doing that. Right, now there is an Assassin Heart here. At first I was like, oh, Assassin Olaf, but then no, it's a heart. It's not an emblem. And so +1 Assassins is not going to do anything if I can't actually put it on a unit. Then I have some other options there that look pretty good. I've got the option to get either 2 things that would both be useful. Second Wind would be nice for the healing, or Celestial Blessing, so that my units can get the lifesteal, and I ultimately went with Celestial Blessing. That way there will be less of a need to itemize healing on Olaf, and any additional items that he makes, or any additional damage he deals, he can also get that converted into a shield. So I'm going to go with Celestial Blessing here. I'm also going to frontline the Olaf, just so he has a higher chance of dying in these initial fights. By the way, there's also a Lilia in the store, and I have randomly made a 2-star set. As I said, I was thinking maybe of sending that over to Headwinder, but he ultimately decided he was not going to play a Dragonmancer game. He is going to play a Shimmer Scale game, because in fact he's going to use his spatula item, his initial spatula with a sword, to make a Shimmer Scale emblem. And he ended up getting the first Shimmer Scale item, which somewhat unfortunately was the big gem. Like, that is not really the first Shimmer Scale item you wanted. We were hoping for Draven's Axe, or maybe for Determined Investor, because that way he could start stacking it up. But no, that's not going to be the case. It is instead going to be the big gem, which is, as mentioned before, is not really what we're looking for. All right, anyway, so I lose the first round. That's not really a surprise because I'm only level 3. I was able to get 1 death stack on Olaf, so that's a plus. And yeah, there you can see there's the big gem. So 3 Shimmer Scale, 2 Guardian. And Headwinder's going to be playing into Shimmer Scale in this game. Now, one thing I kind of wish is, as I end up selling this set, because now it's clear he's not going to be playing into Dragonmancer trait. One thing that I wish I'd been able to do in this game is I would love to just show this game from Headwinder's perspective. Again, I wish we had actual TFT replays. That would be really nice. But no, not something that we end up having in this game. So I cannot show his Shimmer Scale board, which would be pretty interesting to show. This person is also playing Mirage. Note that they have +1 Mirage from their augment. And one thing I will mention is that the Mirage in this game is Electric Overload, generally seen as being one of the weakest of the Mirage traits. But this player was able to put it to good use in this game, so we'll be seeing more of them, since they're the one player that went heavy into Mirage. A bit unfortunately is I don't really have good items for Olaf. So like I was fortunate to get the Olaf from the very first minion round, and that's really nice because you can start stacking up Olaf. But what I'm missing is kind of the items to play him. Olaf typically wants lots of bows. I think that my kind of preferred setup for him is to run something like a rapid fire cannon and then like Rage Blade and then like Titans if you already have innate healing like I do here. If you don't have innate healing, like I'm getting from my augment, then he needs like a Bloodthirster, Hand of Justice, some way of getting some additional healing. But he definitely needs bows, and he definitely wants other items that go along with it. And so the items I have here don't really fit that especially well. The cloak could be a Bloodthirster, although again, I have Celestial Blessing as my augment, so there's less of a need for a Bloodthirster to get that healing, but wouldn't be a bad item if I could make that. And the bow, the rod, I guess, could be a Rage Blade if I can find a bow, but like I kind of have pieces of different items, but like nothing that can turn into an actual item in and of itself. So I can't really do anything with, and then the spatula I can't do anything with right now either. So I hate having this opening where all three items are just sitting on the bench not doing anything. That's always a little bit frustrating. And then I've apparently done well enough to get last pick here, despite losing the first round. So I was like, that's disappointing. So like I would love the bow, that would be a Rage Blade, but Headwinder also kind of needed a bow, and then he ended up not taking it. He also then gets the sword here, and I was like, yeah, out of these items, I certainly can't do anything with a tier or a belt right now. So I guess I'll take the glove, and then I can make Quicksilver Sash, which is a pretty good item on Olaf. That said, it's not an item you kind of want to make first. It's more an item you'd like to make later on. So it's a little bit disappointing to have to make the Quicksilver Sash as the first item on Olaf, but I don't know what else I'm going to do with these. So I don't want all these items to sit on the bench. So I will go ahead and make this, and this will protect him against crowd control in the early game. Also, my board's looking a little bit better now. 2 Bruiser, 2 Cavalier, 2 Warrior, 2 Scalescorn, and then 1 Guild. So this is a pretty solid opening board here. All right, anyway, so as far as what else is going on in this game, I do take the 8 gold drop there, and then you can see I keep hovering over the different spatula items because I'm trying to figure out what the heck am I going to do with this spatula? How can I make use of this spatula? I'll also note that there's a number of Olafs on other people's boards, and that's not great because Olafs are coming out of the pool. However, I was pretty confident that these people were not going to play Olaf long term, and the reason for that is just the augments that they had been taking. Like this person has taken +1 Jade, and this is a sign that they are playing into Jade long term. One of the comps that's become very popular is the Jade plus Whispers build, which is a combination of Shi-Ou and Siphon as kind of like the main carries. And this is, when you're playing that team comp, you are very frequently put your items on a unit like Olaf or alternately maybe Wukong while you're trying to get to Shi-Ou and Siphon, because Olaf's itemization is very similar to both of those units. They're all melee units, all kind of melee physical damage carries. And Olaf has a whole bunch of traits. He has Bruiser trait, he has Warrior trait, he has Scalescorn trait. The Scalescorn trait is not terribly useful in that team composition, but the other 2 traits are. So he's a good item holder, and he's like a good bridge unit to make it to that team comp eventually. So that's why you're seeing these Olafs here. It's not great that they're out of the pool, but I am expecting that some of these people are going to sell those units down the road. And that those, like, look, that person just sold the Olaf right there. Wow, good timing there on the commentary. So yeah, that person sells the Olaf, and hey, the Olaf goes back into the pool. So that's quite nice. Anyway, as far as what I'm playing, I have found a Silas. That's great. Silas will be in the team composition later on because he will provide Whispers and Bruiser trait, along with Pantheon for Whispers trait. But for right now, it's actually better to play the Jax than it is to play the Silas, which is why Silas will just sit on my bench for right now. When Silas does not have Mage trait in, he definitely is a weaker tank than the Jax. So since they're both 1-star units and I don't have Whisper trait in right now, I'll just play the Jax over the Silas for the moment. Anyway, this round went pretty well. The only round that went badly was the previous one, and that's partly because Olaf got stuck on the enemy Jax, who's just kind of sitting there hitting Jax over and over and over again, which is not what I'm looking for. Now, one thing I could potentially do with the spatula is I could use it to make a Guardian spatula as well, because I expect that I'll be playing Braum in this team composition. I need Braum for 4 Scalescorn, so by playing Braum, I would be able to make another unit into a Guardian. Either Pantheon or Silas would be decent choices. Probably Pantheon would be the best choice. So decent odds to turn Pantheon into either a Cavalier or a Guardian down the road if I can get the items for it. If, of course, I can't make a Tactician's Crown with this item. Anyway, I just barely remember that I need to get a death stack on Olaf here, so I am fortunately able to pull that off. And then he does die while the rest of the team ends up killing the Krugs. And then I was like, ooh, yeah, I ended up getting a tier there. Tier is not the item I was looking for. There's not a lot I can do with tiers in this team composition. It's probably the single worst item for this team composition is to get tiers. You want tiers in spellcasting comps, not so much in this particular team composition. Anyway, you get a peek at Headwinder's board right there, and he is still looking to play into Shimmer Scale. And he's been holding up quite well for Shimmer Scale right now. I did play the Braum for that minion round, but then realized, oh, I should be playing Lilia over Braum because Lilia gives me Cavalier trait with the Sejuani. Sejuani might get dropped for a better unit later on, but for right now, I think she's fine. Yeah, and then I'll just put the Giant's Belt on Sedge because I'm expecting she's going to get sold later on. But for right now, Lilia definitely better than Braum. Anyway, this person is kind of an interesting setup. So they're playing Dragonmancer. They have 4 Dragonmancers. They have a Karma with a blue buff. They're actually frontlining the Karma, which is kind of interesting. By frontlining the Karma, she does actually take damage, and then because she takes damage, she will cast more frequently, but it's a pretty risky way to play the setup. Unfortunately, I get beaten pretty badly there, and I don't end up killing any units. I was a little bit surprised I didn't kill anything, but then again, that person does have 2-star Karma, 2-star Jax, 2-star Kaisa, so that's an awful lot of 2 stars. All right, so here we get the option for Scalescorn Heart or Warrior Heart. Again, it's a double silver augment game so far. And definitely going to take the Scalescorn Heart there. And that's really nice because now I get to play 4 Scalescorn with only 3 Scalescorn units in. So this is really nice. I can cut one of the Scalescorn units from my comp. Long term, that's going to be either Lilia or Braum. I don't know which one it's going to be, but it's going to be one of them that I will be able to cut down the road. I was also thinking about making a Morelos. The problem is I didn't really have a very good Morelos user, and that is, again, kind of a weakness of the Scalescorn Olaf team composition. It's not really anyone who can apply Morelos particularly well. I suppose Diana can kind of apply it to some extent, and Pantheon to some extent, but no one's really a good Morelos user in this team composition. Still, for silver augments, I'm pretty happy with what I've gotten thus far. The Celestial Blessing is going to help with some additional healing. Right now, Olaf has no healing besides what he's getting from Celestial Blessing. And then +1 Scalescorn is really nice because it means, as I said, I can cut one of the bad Scalescorn units. Kind of one of the weaknesses of this setup is you have to play all 4 Scalescorn units. And you don't really want to play Braum and Lilia. They're kind of weak units, not really ones that you want. They don't really apply the Scalescorn bonus magic damage very well. So this lets me cut one of them from the team composition and play another better unit instead. So that's a big plus. There is also the option if I can get another Scalescorn emblem, and whether that's via augment or off a carousel or something, it does open up the possibility to play 6 Scalescorn, which is very, very strong. I could turn a unit like Neela into a Scalescorn and get 6 Scalescorn in, which would just be absolutely awesome. But we'll keep an eye out for that and see if I'm able to put that together over the course of the game. It is definitely something you should look for as soon as you get +1 Scalescorn to see if you can get the +2. There's only 4 Scalescorn units, so you need +2 Scalescorn to hit Scalescorn 6. So as far as what this trait does, it actually was reworked a little bit in the most recent patch. Previously, you could not play Scalescorn units with dragons. The trait just didn't function if you had any dragons on the board. That is no longer the case. Now the trait reads, Scalescorns take 15% reduced damage from enemies with more than 1900 health. And then they also get additional magic damage. Scalescorn 4 is 50% bonus magic damage on their abilities. And so, as I said, they have reworked it a little bit. This round, we are up against the Mirage player, or what is it? Headwinder's up against the Mirage player. Or no, Headwinder's already won his round, and he's coming over to my board. He got here just in time. It's so do we have enough damage to kill this person? No, we're a little bit short. And again, that's that Electric Overload Mirage. They're just playing a very tanky Guardian frontline. That tends to be something that falls off as the game goes on, but we'll see if they're able to continue putting it together. Okay, so next carousel here. I've actually lost enough rounds that I am now a second pick, and I'm going to go ahead and take this bow because that is the only way that I can use this rod is to make a Rage Blade on Olaf. So his itemization's coming along. Quicksilver Sash plus Rage Blade, not bad. And then I would want some kind of damage item for his last item. Because I have the Quicksilver Sash, she's already got some innate crit chance. So something like Infinity Edge would be a little bit better than normal here because he's already got that crit chance. And oh, look, we're going to hit 2-star Olaf. Thank goodness. That is definitely something that I need. So looking better here. And then you can see I'm going to get the drop here. And that is from Headwinder because he had already found a 2-star Diana. And he was like, all right, well, I'll just send this over to you. So I can now drop one of these units. And the correct unit to drop is Braum here. There's no reason to play Braum over Lilia. I rarely play Lilia in team composition, so I was just like instinctively removing the Lilia. But again, I'm getting Cavalier trait from Lilia, so she should definitely be in there over Braum. I don't have any items for Diana just yet, but I mean, a 2-star Diana's got to be better than like a 1-star Lilia or a 1-star Braum, so I will definitely look to play that. One thing it does do is it also gives my team a little bit more backline access, which is nice. Now I have a unit that can actually get into the back of the enemy board and look to start killing carries there. It's not going to be too useful against this board because this board is like playing all frontline melee units, as you have the Olaf versus Olaf duel there. That's pretty amusing. And by the way, Headwinder's going to come in here again and save me. So thank you, thank you, Headwinder, for your Shimmer Scale Zippy coming in and saving my butt there. Up against a person who's level 7, 0 gold. So yeah, they're not feeling so hot over there. Not a good sign when you're level 7, 0 gold. Whatever they're rolling for, they haven't found it yet. Anyway, so yeah, as I said, I do think that I need to put in the Lilia, and I think I remember to do that here, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, though, I'm just trying to get to level 7, and then the goal at level 7 will be to stay there for a while, ideally for quite some time, and then see if I can manage to find Olaf and Diana. And if I'm going to roll for Olaf and Diana, I might as well roll for Silas as well, because it takes 3 costs out of the pool, and like that's the overall goal. I guess I kept Braum in here a little longer than I should have. I think I was still trying to figure out which one of these I should play, but definitely better to have Cavalier trait in over not having Cavalier trait. And Lilia honestly probably makes better use of Scale Scorn trait anyway. Braum does not really do any damage, so Scale Scorn trait's kind of wasted on him. Anyway, look at that. Diana gets in the back line, and she kind of kills the Dragon Mancers in the back line there, so that's quite nice. Even with no items, she's doing a decent amount of damage. Now, can Olaf finish this off? Ideal would be winning the fight, but Olaf dying. All right, well, we win the fight. I'll take that. Even if Olaf does not end up dying in the process, does not get a death stack. So definitely picked up there once I was able to hit the 2-star Olaf. But the other thing that really made that work is Headwinder's on a big win streak, and he's kind of carrying me right now because my comp is not that strong. Trouble sign for us, though, if you look there in that last round, the person who is playing... and by the way, I'm going to sell Jackson replaced with Silas because 2-star Silas is worth playing. The other thing I have to mention is the person who's playing that Mirage board, that they're on 8 Leonas, so they're definitely going to hit. And as soon as they hit the 3-star Leona, it's going to be very difficult to deal with their board. Their Leona is super tanky, electric overcharge, Mirage. 3-star Leona is not what we really want to see. And oh, wow, I failed to farm a death stack here too. Oof, that's me not being on top of this. By the way, look at the items I'm going to get here. I was like... oh, another tier and another rod. And this game is trolling me so hard on the items right now. I'm just like, oh my goodness. A tier, another tier, and a rod. Oh, these are the worst items for this team composition. We get lucky in another regard, though. Headwinder has gotten double spatulas from this minion round. Yeah, he just seriously got straight up 2 spatulas from this round. So what the heck is going on here? We have the initial carousel that gave everybody a spatula. And now he's gotten 2 additional spatulas in the same round. So he could, of course, just immediately make a Tactician's Crown, but he said, I'm playing Scale Scorn, or excuse me, not Scale Scorn. He's playing Shimmer Scale. He already has 1 Shimmer Scale emblem. Now he can just make the 2nd Shimmer Scale emblem, and now he'll be able to send the other Shimmer Scale, the other spatula over to me to make a Tactician's Crown. So now there's no need to look into like making a Cavalier emblem or a Guardian emblem. Now I just know, hey, I'm going to get another spatula from Headwinder, so that'll be a Tactician's Crown, and I'll get to play another unit. And in that fight, Olaf was able to kill the frontline Karma. Again, I do not suggest frontlining Karma at this stage of the game. In like stage 2, that's fine, but stage 4, she's just going to die too quickly. All right, so we're going to get a last augment here. I was tempted by the Portable Forge, but as I've said before, Portable Forge, don't suggest taking that as the last item. It's more valuable as the first augment, not as the last augment. And then there's another Celestial Blessing here. I was like, why don't I just double up on Celestial Blessing? That feels like it would be pretty good. Like, all right, why not? We'll just get more Celestial Blessing. The alternative was to re-roll the augment and like cross my fingers and hope that I might be able to get +1 Scale Scorn, because that would be pretty cool if I could get 6 Scale Scorn, but that felt kind of risky. So I did not end up doing that. And so as you can see, now we're going to sit here and reroll and going to play the Lilia over the Braum, because I should have been doing that anyway. I've also tossed in Zyra to get Whisper straight in, which feels pretty good here. Want that ability to shred the back lines. Now, I will not have to play Zyra long term. As soon as I can find Pantheon, I can take out Yone and replace with Pantheon, and then that will free up that spot for another unit, which I would plan to be Neela, so I can get Assassin trait in for Diana. So that's why I picked up the Neela, so I can get Assassin trait in, but I have to find Pantheon before I can make that substitution, because I think it's more valuable having Whispers trait in than having Assassin trait in. Anyway, I am up against what is this, a Sohm player, and this fight's relatively close, but we're able to get on the back line. It looks like that person's maybe transitioning into some kind of Shiou. And then, by the way, look at this store. I get a Siphon and a Shiou. I was like, where is this when I'm playing the Shiou Siphon comp? I get both of them together. All right, so I'm going to hit another Diana. So I'm actually at 6 Dianas already, which is pretty early. I'm only at 4 Olafs, 4 Silases. And so I'll just keep rolling here. The unit that Headwinder was looking for was Idis, because remember, he's playing a Shimmer Scale board, and he asked if I could send that over. So I will do so. And I believe that's going to take him close to 9 Shimmer Scale. I think he just needs to get Zoe, and then he needs to get a sword so he can make a Shimmer Scale emblem. But again, he's guaranteed to be able to do that because we have the Treasure Dragon coming up. My board is definitely spiked in power since I hit 2-star Olaf and 4 Scale Scorn. I won the last 4 rounds in a row, so my comp has been strong, but it will start to fall off until if I can't get like Pantheon in here and get the 3-star Olaf, that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm up against the backlines here. Oh, that's a really good Chain of Corruption from the Varus. It's like a really good Chain of Corruption, and gonna get stuck there. Just got stuck on the Varus, too much CC. The Quicksilver Sash on Olaf had timed out, so he could be crowd controlled by the enemy team. Anyway, yeah, he's on 8 Shimmer Scale right now. I think he just needs either, I can't remember if he found a Zoe or not, but he was very close to 9 Shimmer Scale to get the Crown of Champions. Again, I wish I could show this game from his perspective because his board is a little bit more interesting than mine. All right, anyway, so I decide with these items here, I have double tiers. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these tiers. So my thinking was I will take a glove and make Hand of Justice for Olaf so I can actually use one of these tiers. And then, oh, there's one more sword, but that was really sad. There were 2 swords left and only 4 people left to pick, but he was not able to get a sword off that carousel, so a little bit disappointing. And this means that I'm going to have, for my Olaf items, I'm going to have Rage Blade, Quicksilver Sash, Hand of Justice. Now, these are not bad Olaf items by any means. That said, I don't think that they were amazing Olaf items either. I was a little disappointed I wasn't able to get better Olaf items in this particular game. These are fine. Rage Blade is always good on him. Quicksilver Sash means he doesn't get crowd controlled. Hand of Justice gives him a little bit more healing, so he actually has quite a bit of healing right now. But I do think they could have been better in this game. Well, good news is we're now up to 6 Olaf, so we are getting a little bit closer here. So that's a plus. But I do wish I could have gotten maybe Titan's Resolve on him, because remember, I don't need the Hand of Justice that badly because I have all this healing itemized all this healing from my augments. So that's not quite as necessary. I wish he had just had more raw damage overall. All right, anyway, so we're up against one of those Shiou Siphon boards, and Olaf, with his full items, actually does manage to take down both of the carries, takes down Shiou and takes down Siphon. So now all that's left is this Pantheon, who has a Jade emblem for no clear reason. Jade emblem literally does nothing. Don't put it on one of your carries. But it turns out none of us can kill the Pantheon, who is up to 180 stacks of Whisper Trait or something insane. Should not put the Jade emblem on Pantheon, honestly. It's kind of waste an item slot on him. Anyway, so I'm just continuing to roll here. Again, I'm staying at level 7. There's no need to go to level 8. Unfortunately, Headwinder has not been finding Olafs. He has not found any of them. Literally has not found any of them. Now, granted, I believe he's pushing to get to level 8 quickly, but it's a little disappointing he has not found any Olafs over there. So he's just waiting. At least he does get 2-star Idis. That's pretty nice. Yeah, he has no Olafs whatsoever, but he did find 2-star Diana. Just one of those games where he was not hitting Olafs. So I guess it's a good thing that I was able to find 6 of them. But it's important because we're hoping he could find Olaf so then he can send me that leftover spatula so I can make the Tactician's Crown. I'm kind of waiting to put Neela in with the Tactician's Crown. Anyway, this round I'm up against the Mirage player, and this is a really bad matchup for Olaf because he's just going to kill himself on the reflected damage, and yes, that's exactly what happens. That is a really strong Leona. Warmogs, Gargoyles, and then Ionic. The Ionic Spark is really important too because the Ionic Spark amplifies the reflected damage from the Electro Charge. it means that those electric procs are going to deal significantly more damage. Alrighty, so now we've got our treasure dragon. It's a chaos treasure dragon. So I'm looking at this, I was like, no, Mystic Emblem's not going to do anything. And then it's like, this actually looks much better. Titan's Resolve, Edge of Night. Okay, I can take that. And then I get 2 more Dianas. So I was like, oh, I'm actually at 8 Dianas now. So let's go ahead and make the target dummy. And Edge of Night, Titans, well, I can go ahead and do this. I can make Ionic Spark on Diana, which is one of her better items. By the way, I keep getting these Lilia, so I'll just keep picking them up. I wasn't really planning on re-rolling for Lilia, but I will hold her as well, because why not? And then I finally get a Pantheon, so that means that I can now take out the what's his name? The Yone. I don't know why I was struggling to come up with that person's name. And now I can start putting some of these tank items on Pantheon. Edge of Night's not amazing on him. I kind of wish I could get some of these items on Olaf, to be honest. I wish I had Rageblade Titan's Edge of Night on the Olaf instead. But I can't get these items off unless I would get an item remover. In any case, though, I keep rolling, and I just random my way into the 2-star Lily or 3-star Lilia, and then I random my way into the 3-star Diana. So I am hitting here. I'm actually hitting a fair bit, but I'm still missing the Olaf. At least I'm close. I'm on 7 Olaf, so I'm getting close. And this now means that I should probably start thinking about itemizing the Lilia as well, because she is a 3-star Lilia. I was like, all right, well, that seems worthwhile to do. And also look at what I have in terms of traits over there at the side. 4 Scale Scorn, 2 Whisperers, 2 Bruisers, 2 Warriors, 2 Assassins, 2 Cavaliers, and then 1 Guild. We'll have to wait to come back to this. As you can see that now Headwinder is up to 9 Shimmer Scale as well. He put the Crown of Champions on Twitch. He is still fiddling with his items because has like so many items to deal with because he's got this Shimmer Scale. Look what I'm one off of. I'm one off of Mage. And I need to get that extra emblem or extra spatula to come over from Headwinder. He's going to be sending that any minute now. And when that happens, I get +1 unit, so I can actually toss a mage into my comp as well. And that's going to be pretty significant because Lilia is 3-starred, and then that'll cause Silas to be double casting as well. So just putting a random mage into the comp actually does make me stronger. That's why I've grabbed this Vlad here. And Vlad is not going to do anything, but Lilia double casting feels pretty good. And there we go. There is the Tactician's Crown. Oh, by the way, he actually got another spatula. So he doesn't just send me a spatula, he sends me a full Tactician's Crown. So Headwinder has now gotten 4 spatulas in this game. He got 1 off the initial carousel. He got 2 out of the stage 3 minion round. And then he got another 1 out of the treasure dragon. 4 spatulas. So now, once again, I've got this extra spatula, and I'll have to see if there's anything that I can do with it over the course of this game. This time, I am up against someone who's playing Dragonmancer. So they have +2 Dragonmancer. They're playing 6 Dragonmancer, and they put it on this Jace. And, oh boy, look at this Jace. He has like 8,000 health. He has Bloodthirster plus Titans. It's like, can we ever kill this unit? Maybe in overtime? No. So it's like, ooh, geez, that person looking pretty strong there. Oh, I don't know about that. I will replace the Vlad with Lux. And, oh, there's another Silas. There's another Olaf. I'm on 8 of each. Okay, can we find 1 more, I guess? I'm also going to do this. I'm going to sell the... I'm going to transfer this Redemption over to Lilia because she's a 3-star unit. She should survive longer in the fights. Pick up the Lux. I was like, all right, can I get 1 more? Can I get 1 more of this unit? I'll keep rolling here. And now I have to rebuild my Sejuani. But there's also a Pantheon in the store, so I will lock for that if I have to. But I'm on 8 Olafs and 8 Silases here. Just need 1 more of each, and then I can look to go to level 8. I'm actually only level 7, but I've got the extra unit from the Tactician's Crown. I'm not exactly sure what my next unit in would be, and now I'm still trying to figure out what the heck I can do with this spatula that's left over. So anyway, my board has been spiking, though. I was in a kind of a power trough for a while there, but my board has gotten a lot stronger because I've been hitting some of my 3-stars. The 3-star Diana and the 3-star Lily are actually now carrying their weight quite a bit. So we just need to get Olaf and Silas to now match that as well. And with that, between my board getting stronger and then Headwinder having the 9 Shimmer Scale with the Crown of Champions, we're definitely feeling a lot better at this game now. By the way, there's another Shimmer Scale emblem. What the heck? I would not mind taking that just so I could get the Zoe, because Zoe would be nice for my team composition. I would just replace the Lux with her, but nope, she gets taken. So out of these items, there's not all that much that I particularly want. So I was like, wait a minute, what is Lilia's mana cost? Oh, her mana cost is only 50. Well, out of these items, then, I guess the blue buff is the best thing I can take. So it's a race between me and this other person, and I actually do get the blue buff. So, all right, well, if Lilia's mana costs are that low, we'll just go ahead and take this and put the blue buff on her. So this is a game where I really don't want tears, but I've got nothing but tears throughout this game. And hey, there's the Olaf. So, all right, now we can probably look to go to level 8. Normally, I'd be saying look to go level 9 here, but no, we're looking to go level 8 because we've been stuck at level 7 for such a long time. I've been at level 7 for, what is it? I have 18 XP, so that's 9 rounds. Been at level 7 for 9 consecutive rounds now. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to look now finally to get to the next level up, and then I'll have to figure out what unit I'm going to play there. So my board has definitely gotten a lot stronger. Hopefully I can hit the Silas for another 3-star as well and go from there. I am up against another one of these Siphon Shi-Ou boards, so hopefully the fact that I now have all these 3-stars in will help make the difference there. I hope so anyway. Come on, Olaf, let's see if you can take down the Siphon. At least we was able to get the Mana Reeve from Silas to slow down his casting. Oh, I don't want to get stuck on the Jax. That's the wrong unit, Olaf. Don't get stuck on the Jax. You want to hit the Dragon carries. Wow, he spent a lot of time hitting the the Jax, didn't he? Fortunately, Headwinder's able to come over. Twitch's Crown of Champions is going to pop the Siphon, and so we're going to be able to knock that team down to 1 HP. And hey, there's Silas. All right, so this is a game that's really heavy on 3-stars for me. 3-star Silas, 3-star Lilia, 3-star Diana, 3-star Olaf. You expect to hit some of these 3-stars, but you don't necessarily expect to hit this many. And the really odd thing is Headwinder did not really find any of these units. I just kind of found them all on my own. I was helped by the fact that a lot of the 3 costs were coming out of the pool in other team compositions as well. So that definitely helped me. But still, it was kind of amazing I found all of these units on my own. Now, I do just wish somehow that I could get some of these items over to Olaf, because I don't feel like his itemization is particularly good in this game. As I said, I wish I could get like the Titan's Edge of Night on him, which I think would be really nice. The Edge of Night for the aggression drop would be pretty sweet. All right, oh, that Deja's low. All right, there we go. Now, can Olaf avoid killing himself on the Electric Sparks here? Pretty sure he wins this because he does have all that healing from Celestial Blessing. So yeah, looks like we would have won this anyway. And we're going to knock this team down to 6 HP. So we're feeling pretty good about the game right now. Our teams are in good shape. I've hit all my 3-stars. Headwinder's got the Crown of Champions with 9 Shimmer Scale, and I'm even going to hit the 2-star Sejuani, who I just slapped the Tactician's Crown on for no particular reason. Yeah, there's his board. Get a chance to see it. He's playing through Xayah and like the Crown of Champions is kind of his setup right there, and then he's got Idas for really tanky front line. And I think he's going level 9 now. One of his weaknesses is he can't really make use of all the items he has. This is kind of common with Shimmer Scale, is you end up in a situation with 9 Shimmer Scale that like you just can't use all of the items that you have on your board. Which is not that uncommon. So right now I'm trying to get to level 8. I actually pick up the Soam in the store because I was like, well, maybe I can just play Soam for my last unit here. Like I could just take out Lux and replace her with Soam because like that's just a better Mage Dragon. So I get another Titan's Resolve, which is good. And I'll just put that on Lilia because why not? We got these random items on Lilia. Now I kind of wish she didn't have the Redemption. Wish I had like an AP item on her instead. But I put the Redemption on her back when I didn't think she was going to be this important to the team composition. We are now going to be up against either the Dragonmancer board, the other Dragonmancer board, the one that doesn't have Jace, and I can't remember who the other one that we could potentially hit is. All right, so we are up against this Dragonmancer player. Again, they still have Karma front line. I really don't suggest this. This is not, they do not have Eye of the Storm, which is where you would typically play a unit up on the front lines there. So Karma is going to survive for quite some time. She actually does kill the Olaf, but oh, Lilia's still alive. Diana's still alive, and the Ionic Spark gets insane value in this fight. And so we're going to be able to burst them down and kill the rest of this team. And then now we're up against the Deja player, and we're going to knock them down to 1 HP. So, all right, feeling pretty good here. Headwinder's on a big win streak. I'm on a big win streak. And the other teams are super low. So we're probably guaranteed at least a top 2 with this situation. Now we're going to get the item drop here, and it turns out that Assassin Emblem is one of my choices here. So I was like, oh, Assassin Emblem, that sounds great. Send that over to me, please. So Headwinder is going to send that over to me any second now. There we go. And once again, I was like, if only I could get this item on Olaf, I would just take all, if I could just remove the Quicksilver Sash off of Olaf. I wish I had an item remover. I'd take the Quicksilver Sash off, and I would just put the Assassin Emblem on Olaf. But there's a Rengar in my store, so we're going to level to level 8 and put in that Rengar. So now we actually have 4 Assassins in. I'm going to turn Silas into an Assassin, and I mean, we're going to have 3-star Assassin Silas with Mage trait jumping into the back lines. That feels pretty good overall. Anyway, so this time I'm up against the Dragonmancer Jace player, and I managed to hit the Zephyr on my Olaf. Yeah, should have swapped at the last second there. That's pretty sloppy of me, because I kind of need Olaf's damage to burst through the Jace. Like, we're going to start killing everything else. This person does have a Shyvana on their team. I guess they definitely have Shapeshifter trait in. I don't know if they have Shapeshifter 2 or 4. And, here comes their partner. That is a bit unfortunate. So I think I would win this round without their partner. But with their partner coming in, it's going to be a little bit dicier. That Yasuo is being a real pain. And it turns out that my Olaf's going to get popped. And it looks like we're not going to be able to win this round, which is a shame because I think we would have eliminated this team if we'd been able to win this round. So, not quite able to knock them out. Headwinder wasn't able to win his round. I wasn't able to win my round. So, by the way, Headwinder's up to 6 Idases, so that now became the next thing he was looking for 3-star Idis. Once again, as the Shimmer Skill player, he has like a billion items, so he can't really use these items particularly well. And I think he takes the blue buff, as I am able to make 2-star Pantheon. So, again, we're still in pretty good shape in this game, but there is a problem with what we're going to see. Look at that on the interface. Deja, 2-star, Deja, 3-star. It's like, that's not what we want. Anyway, so Headwinder had an extra Zoe, so he's going to send me the Zoe along with items he can't use. So I was like, all right, well, I've got an extra blue buff. I think Pantheon's mana costs are fairly low. I don't think that these are amazing items for Pantheon, but we'll take that. Now we have Zoe in, so my board is really strong, but 3-star Deja. That is not what I want to see. And wait, what happened to my team? Where did my team go, guys? Yeah, Deja did 21,000 damage in 10 seconds. I was like, yeah, it looks like we let this team stay in the game one round too long, because now they've got 3-star Deja. I was like, I wonder if I could have beaten that Jace player and knocked them out of the game. That would have been nice for sure. Well, anyway, it's another carousel. There's a lot of interesting options here, by the way. The Mage Chat would be kind of interesting, potentially, but I don't know that I really need that. Instead, I opt to go for the Cavalier emblem. Guild emblem actually would be pretty interesting, too. There's a decent amount of value in that, at least just to deny it to other teams. That team's on 8 Mirage now. What is the Electrocharge for 8 Mirage? I'm actually going to look that up because I'm curious. All right, Electrocharge with 8. I've got it here. When attacking or being hit by an attack, Mirage units gain a chance to deal 9% of their maximum health as magic damage to adjacent enemies. It's 50% chance with Electric Overload. So 50% chance whenever they attack or are hit with an attack, they're going to deal 9% of their max health to adjacent enemies. That's going to happen 50% of the time. Yikes. That Deja has a lot of health. That Leona has a lot of health. That is pretty concerning. Well, at least I'm not up against that team comp this time. I'm up against the other team, the one that is running. This person's running like kind of a standard Xayah plus guild board. So I'm hoping that I can get into the back line and kill that Xayah. It looks like I was not positioned correctly, unfortunately. But I do have an awful lot of 3-star units. And Scalescorn does do well against high health targets. You get that bonus damage against them. So Zoe is going to toss in a little extra damage. I actually want Zoe to use the invulnerability, or really want her to use the invulnerability more so than any of her other abilities. She used the laser, which does not really do much for me. All right, anyway, so here we go. I'm going to... I world class an Idis there. That's unfortunate. Did we already make the 3-star Idis? I know we made 3-star Idis for Headwinder. I guess we did that last round when I was reading the Mirage description. I guess he already hit that. And then he hits another Xayah as well. He's on 6 Xayahs. But we know we're going to be up against the Mirage player. My only hope here is to kill that Deja. So I'm going to overload the left side of the board with all my assassins and just pray that maybe we can kill the Deja before Deja kills everything. So this is just my best chance. Let's see if we can do this. Assassins, go! Go get that Deja. So they are right on Deja from the start of the fight, and they are doing some damage. The Mana Reef got really low. There we go. Wow, that was close. The Mana Reef from Silas delayed Deja casting. Of course, my whole team died in the process because they were taking all those Electrocharge bolts. But we got the Deja, and that's significant because that's going to buy time for Headwinder to beat the other player instead of Deja just coming over and reinforcing. And then now he's going to come over here, and yeah, we've got this. Nasus can never kill our board. So that's going to be a win as we take down the 3-star Deja in that fight. Again, I would have lost the fight, but I didn't have to win the fight. I just had to stop Deja from going over to the other board and winning. It actually would have been enough even if we had lost that fight, because Headwinder did enough damage to knock out the other player. But hey, we'll take the double win to eliminate them in a close, tight lobby. We win with 11 HP remaining. So a really entertaining game. Shimmer scale, a bazillion 3 stars. This was the Spatula game, and this one was pretty entertaining. I hope this one was fun to watch. Anyway, thanks for hanging in there with this one. Until next time, take care, folks.